Good evening, Dr. McCassell and fellow students. This is Brian Bailey. I am doing the week 6 reflection assignment. So I opted to do something I'm really good at, and that is to create a YouTube video and talking about my final thoughts about attaining a master's in MATLT and what I've learned from this class and where I think I'm going to be going with my career. Whether I stay in as a adult education or a GED teacher with the Florida prison system, or branch out and possibly go back to public schools teaching reading or mathematics. So several things I learned during my semesters working on this degree, and really three things jumped out at me and stayed with me. And the three important details I picked up from all my classes and on all the assignments I completed were several things. One was that, let's see, I'm referring to my notes here. The Tuckman and Jensen group model, okay, which I will address here in a second. Blended instruction, in which Asher is really one of the big leaders in, where you do classwork and online learning at the same time, which is all at your own self-paced, and the UDL theory of education. So let's talk about that for a couple seconds, okay? UDL, the Universal Design for Learning. The theory behind that is, and I have evidence to support this through all my classes, is that it centers around two 3-point, let's see, what's what I'm looking for, ideas, okay? One, UDL guidelines ask for engagement, representation, action, and expression, okay? And those three have to meet the students' three types of learning styles: hands-on, visual, and auditory. Okay. Now I understand that teachers can't create lessons like this every single day and every single lesson that has to be covered by state or federal learning standards. However, way we educators can get around this is to create lesson plans that address engagement, representation, or action and expression through maybe an auditory lesson, hands-on lesson, or visual, okay, and just do it on a kind of rotating basis. So this way, every student has an opportunity to learn, and they can take their strengths and apply it to what the thematic unit is. Okay, so, and I found that all my courses for this MATLT degree and master's program have those three, or I should say, those 6 requirements. Okay. The next thing I would like to talk about, and what I have learned during my entire program, is the let's see. We'll talk about Tuckman and Jensen here in a second. Let me see. I'm giving you. Bear with me here. All right. Blended instruction. Okay. And the reason why I say that this program is a prime example of blended instruction is that the classroom, which is technically internet based, is where the teachers and the students can communicate through email, video, even quick Snapchat, and other social media platforms for guidance, for assistance, to do assignments, or even just how to bounce ideas off of each other. All right. So I would like to point out that, and I'm citing Tucker, who wrote an article here from 2013, which I will list as part of my references on my link to this video on YouTube. Tucker points out there that even though that many school districts don't have technology-rich classrooms, the rapidly evolving education landscape requires us to incorporate technology to customize student learning. Blended learning, with its mix of technology and traditional face-to-face instruction, is perhaps the best approach. I cannot argue with that, and I think that pretty much sums up what blended instruction is. And using it on a graduate school level with, say, Ashford University, Florida State, Air Force Academy, wherever. Um, many courses now do require internet-based instruction at your own pace. Maybe meet with the professor through video conferencing, or maybe come into the classroom 1 or 2 hours a week. Okay. So many talent, and I also want to point out that Tucker also makes one more point here, is that many talented teachers, both new and experienced, find themselves increasingly empowered and excited to use technology. Okay, and she offers 5 tips that the teachers should take into consideration every day, and how to use one of these 5 tips to create good UDL lesson plans and blended instruction. Think big, but start small. Okay, and in my opinion, these are pretty much self-explanatory. Okay, patience is a virtue in trying something new. Technology shouldn't just be a frill, which means that just don't have the kids do it just because they know how. Um, okay. And one other point I would like to make is weaving media together makes them stronger. So not only have you have new research, but think analytically. Uh, dig deeper for more information. Okay. All right. And so during the course of my courses and coursework and interacting with my students and professors, quite honestly, I think this is probably one of the prime examples of what I'm talking about here. Okay. All right. And the last thing I want to point out is I have noticed is the Tuckman and Jensen group model. Okay. Having been taking a lot of psychology courses in my undergrad work at Florida State, Dr. McCassell, I have found that that when classes are created and they're working their way through the semester, they come up with five types of development. First is your forming group, which you put a whole eclectic mix of personalities together. You have storming, in which people will vie for the group of for the roles of leadership, the joker, the worker, the helper. Then you have the norming stage, which is the third stage, in which people are characterized by cohesion, in which everybody is used to each other now. They know each other's quirks, their strengths and weaknesses, and they work together as a group. Okay. Then the fourth stage is the performing stage. Is right now where I see in my GD classes. I have 2 groups of GD classes, 30 to 40 inmates for 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, and these inmates have come together. They know each other and where they live, and they are the forming group in which these inmates work together and they create a cohesive unit and they help each other and then I help them. And trying to prepare them for the GD test coming up in February. And the 60-something students I'm anticipating, I am quite certain I will have at least a good 45, 50 pass this exam, GD exam coming up in 2017 in February. Okay, and then last but not least, then you have the adjourning group in which after you invest a lot of time and energy into helping a group of inmates or students getting a diploma or a GED, or just even to attain educational goals, then they become the adjourning group because you have helped them attain their educational goals and their objectives. They met their goals and objectives, and it's time for them to move on either to take college courses or vocational courses, and then I pass that process on to the next teacher, who is I have several options in which the inmates can be assigned to CDL truck driving, carpentry, or plumbing classes, and hopefully we'll be getting a new some kind of AutoCAD program assigned to us very soon. So those are the 3 major ideas that I have come across, and I reflect on what I have learned in this program. Is that UDL, the Tuckman Jensen model, applies every day in some way or manner or fashion in education, okay, and in the different types of learning styles, okay. And along the way, I give lots of credit to my professors, my cohorts who are my classmates, and also my parents. My dad has a master's in criminology. He's a retired colonel from the Air Force, and his specialty was police and criminology. My mom has a master's in public and hospital administrations. So it was my parents pushed me and pushed me to attain my master's in a field that I excel at, and in order to rise in the ranks and to make my career with the state of Florida as worthwhile as it is. So there have been times I've been down, thinking that I'm not going to be able to finish this, but I only have just several more assignments with your class, Dr. McCassell, and I will have graduated with my degree. It's been a long road, but you're the last professor I've had, and I have been very grateful for all your guidance and everything you've done to me, and also to my fellow students. So I'm not going to say this is goodbye, but I'm going to say it, leave it as this. It's been a pleasure knowing with you, working with you, and collaborating with you all. And this is not goodbye. So I'll be saying to you this. I'll be seeing you around.